Blessings, guys. The name is Elwilbro, Wilbro, and I want to welcome you once again. Today, I have a great personality here that I'm going to talk to. He is a father, a mentor, a teacher, a pastor, a reverend minister, and as I keep telling you, on the gist, we're gonna bring you a lot of things that is going to educate you, teach you how to make right decisions, and also how to make the right choices. So today we're gonna talk about dating and courtship as believers, as unbelievers. Before you go into any relationship, we are going to learn a lot from this great man of God. As I keep telling you, we are not here to interview him. We are here to talk to him. We want to have a conversation with him because we want to learn from him. So I want you to subscribe to this YouTube channel and also hit on the notification bell so that anything we post, you will be notified. You don't have to go to the channel to look for it. Anytime we post anything, you'll be notified. Remember, El Wilbro is all about inspiring and fulfilling destiny. I'm going to go on a short commercial break, and when I come back, I'm going to introduce this great man of God to you, and we're going to have a talk with him. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. So, as I said earlier on, we have a great personality here, and I don't want to say much about him. I want him to introduce himself because, as I said today, we're going to talk to him. We're going to have a conversation with him. He's going to teach us a lot of things that, as young people growing up and also as young people making some certain decisions, he's a man that we're going to bring him on these shows a lot of times on the Just on El Wilbro YouTube channel. So we're gonna bring him all the time because he is more knowledgeable. He has a lot of wisdom that we have to learn from him. So welcome once again, Daddy.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me onto this platform here this afternoon.
Thank you very much. So first of all, we want to know you. My audience want to know you, and we want to know your name. We want to know what you do, so that we can take it from there.
So I'm Lovelace, St. John. I live here in the city of Toronto. Actually, I live in the suburbs, but I pastor a church in here, Toronto, called Progress Church. And it's a joy to be with you. Gotten to know this young man here, and young man who I admired. And on this platform, I know that he's somebody that you look forward to the content that he's bringing you. So it's a joy to talk about. He said that this great man of God, but I consider myself just a man of God who God uses in this time. And I know that the discussion that we're going to have today, it's a timely one that is so needed in the body of Christ today.
Okay, so guys, as I said, I don't have to say much. He's gonna say a lot of things. He's gonna teach us a lot of things. As I said, today we're gonna talk about courtship and dating. Okay, so we don't want to waste much of your time because we have a lot of questions to ask him, and it's going to be on an episode, like a series that each question will come to a certain point, and we're gonna give you the series each and every day. So we have a lot to give you, but today we want to just focus on courtship and dating. But first of all, we want to start with courtship. We want to ask Daddy, what's your understanding about courtship?
So you want to talk about courtship first or dating
I think
first?
we should start with dating. What's your understanding about dating?
Well, dating is where you get to meet somebody, and then you may, in different circumstances, different meetings, you get to understand that personality, how they go about certain situation. That's dating. You getting to know that person, personalities, and so forth, on dealing with a variety of things. That's basically what dating is all about.
Wow. Wow. So dating is getting to know someone. That's what Daddy is talking about.
Yeah.
But also, this is my main first question for dating. What's the purpose of dating, and how can we make the most of it?
Beautiful. I believe that dating, number one, you have to know yourself, because if you're just dating for dating's sake, it's not advisable. But you get to know who you are as an individual, because you have people saying, okay, I'm dating this person. Okay, where is it going? So dating always has to be for a purpose, right? Because from dating you go to courtship, then marriage. But dating is getting to know somebody, knowing if you don't know who you are as an individual, how do you know the best person that's going to be attached to you?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so you got to know who you are, and then on that basis you start. Because I mean, in any given day, you're gonna run across many different men or women who your eyes may attract you to, but it doesn't mean that's the person for you.
Wow. Wow. So dating is getting to know yourself. The question is, do you know yourself? So if you don't know yourself,
So,
you don't have to start dating. So this is very insightful, because he said dating is getting to know yourself. You first have to know yourself.
so
That's what Daddy is saying, that you first have to know
yeah,
yourself before you try to get to know someone.
yeah.
So first of all, know yourself before you try to know someone. This leads to my next question, which is very interesting. How can we balance getting to know someone with not getting too serious too quickly?
Okay, you're diving deep into it right now.
Yes.
And so how can we balance? And you're right, it's a balance, right?
Yeah.
So it's not putting labels on certain things, because in different surrounds, see, tell a young, for instance, a young man will tell a young lady, can we go out for coffee? So you're getting to know that personality, but once you start putting labels on it. So for instance, if you're talking to a young lady, there's no reason for you to start dealing in areas where it causes emotion. Because once emotions begin to arise and feelings and attachment, it becomes more complicated then. But as you're talking to people, let's go to the movies, let's go to a ball game, let's go for a walk, let's go to at a festival, a concert, or different things. So many things you can do, and you're getting to know people's personality in these different areas, and you're getting to know yourself on the journey also, before you start telling the person, "Oh, I like you, and I want to be your boyfriend, your girlfriend," and then before you know it, but you don't know that person, and you don't even know yourself, and then 6 months down, they really realize that's not the right thing. So then you break that off, and then you go on to the next one. So you want to know who you are and understand. Don't put labels on things. Dating is where you're getting to know yourself and getting to know somebody. That's basically what it is.
Wow. So about, you made mention of you get to know the person before you start liking the person. So
Absolutely.
which means that the people that sees, like for instance, I'm a guy, I see a woman and I say, oh, I like her.
Yeah.
Is it wrong?
No, it's not wrong, but
Okay.
that's just the surface part.
Okay.
Because you're gonna realize in a week you could probably come across 10 beautiful women where the eyes, oh, that's a beautiful woman right there. I like to talk to her as a single person. But you realize you cannot marry 10 women, right? So you're gonna talk to them, find the personality, realize, okay, sometime after the one conversation, you realize this don't need to go any further, because I don't see that person bringing value to my life.
Wow. Value.
Yeah.
Value. Wow. Interesting. I think I'm gonna hold on with the next question, because what he said is very interesting about value. Okay, so value. Daddy, talking about
Yeah.
value.
Well, this is why you need to know who you are, because I raised 3 sons, and I like to tell them I know them better than they know themselves, know their personality, and I know the type of woman that would be best for them in the circumstances, right? It's where once you know who you are, you know the type of woman that will bring you to your optimum, to where you need to go, because two is better than one. She becomes an helpmeet eventually in that relationship. But if you are connecting a woman who doesn't have no center in terms of values and in terms of identity, that's a lot of problems. You know, and she may be a beautiful woman to look at, but as you begin to dig down deep into the surface of who the character and the personality of that person, you realize, okay, this is not going to be mesh. She may mesh for somebody else, or he may mesh for somebody else, but this person wouldn't necessarily mesh for me.
Wow. So not every woman is for you. Not every man is for you. This is interesting.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about character in during our episode. So I don't want to go there right now.
Yeah.
But this leads to our next question. That my question is, do we have red flags in dating, and what are some of the red flags to watch out for on a date?
Absolutely. So there's a lot of red flags to always watch out for. Just think of your own life, right? Number one things for a man is to, so I don't want to get deep in terms of trust and those things. Those things come later on. But in terms of, is that person an ambitious person? You're going to look in terms of, is that person lazy, procrastinating? Because it may seem easy on the surface, but as you go later on in a relationship, these things become major issues. I always say to young men, your identity in knowing who you are, the values, because older you get, we always hold on to the values that we have in our upbringing. So you want to look at the red flags. You got to watch in terms of, is that person ambitious? Is that person lazy? Is that person, what's the person work ethical about? If you realize there's areas and that person not willing to learn. You may meet somebody, for instance, right?
Yeah.
And they may not have a good work ethic, but you realize if that person is willing to commit themselves, have a discipline, you realize these can work. No, not talking about in terms of trust, if that person is lying and cannot be trusted, those are major character deficiency that's a major red flag in almost every relationship, right? What are some of the red flags? How people handle resources,
Okay.
money,
Wow.
because money is one of the big issues in relationship.
Wow.
So
We're gonna talk about that. It's gonna be big, bro. Like you have to subscribe to this YouTube channel
Yeah.
because our dad is full of wisdom.
Yeah.
You know, he's going deep. Even though we have a lot of questions to ask him,
Yeah.
which along the way we're gonna ask him, but he's punching some point that it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. So Daddy, you said money is very important.
Absolutely, because you meet a teenager, a person in the early 20s, you need to know what that person, what value, how they view money.
How they view
How they
money.
view money.
Wow.
That's important, because if they don't see money as a tool to be used, but money is that identify who they are, get ready for major headache.
Wow.
So how people view money, all of those things are important in relationships. And these are red flags you got to watch out. Okay, how people deal with money, how they view money, the empathy. Now, for instance, especially if you're a man, you sense a call, you sense a person, you're a people person, you cannot marry somebody who's not a people person. Or somebody who chooses not to be around people.
Wow.
Because that would affect your relationship. So there's so many things. That's why you come back again. Know who you are.
Wow.
Know who you are.
Wow. So this comes to the point of you knowing who you are is very important. And a lot of people, we don't know who we are.
Yeah.
So we just make the wrong choices. And I keep telling you, by the end of this episode on relationship, trust me, you're going to get some points and key things. You're going to learn a lot so that you can make the right decision. I know that you have spoken about money. I don't want to go there because we will dive deep into the spiritual aspect of it. But we're starting from the basics to get to build the foundation so that when we get there, you will understand everything that he's going to teach us as well. So, Dad, you said something, and it's really interesting. You know, when talking about knowing yourself and also going in for someone who so what you're saying is we're talking about compatibility.
Yeah.
If you people are compatible.
Yeah.
So how would I know if I'm compatible with someone before I start dating the person?
Okay, so number one, so when you know, so if you know, for instance, you are a person of empathy. That's your person, your character, who you are, your identity. Now, behavior changes. We understand that. But your core person of who you are, these are formed as you begin to grow up. Your environment, your family, your nature, your nurture, and all of those things are part of who comes into your identity as who you are.
Wow.
Right? So is where, but again, you need to be in a place where people can identify those things, where you can identify those things, right? And in your environment, your circles, your circle of friends, your family, your church community, people can speak into your life and help you to get to that place where you need to be, right? So once you know who you are, then you look at the compatibility. So the compatibility means that person may be different from you, in terms of
Yeah.
who they are. They may be different, but because they're different, but even as their personality is one that can mesh with who you are, you can work. But if that person is a personality who's going to rub against the grain, see who you are as a deficient, as a weakness, you got problems there.
Wow.
Yeah. If you as a young man, I see you as a young man who's empathetic, a young man who is caring and true compassion and love. That's how I view you. Now, if you say I'm going to date a woman, and she sees that a weakness, it doesn't matter how you try, brother.
Yeah.
You're heading for problems.
Wow. Oh, wow. Um, most
I hope
of
that wasn't
us,
too hard on you.
this really hit me hard. So, that I want to ask this too. Most of us, we talk about expectations, especially when a young guy, you try to talk to a woman, or a woman will ask you your expectations, your intentions. So my question here is that how can I communicate my intentions and expectations with someone I'm dating?
Yeah, so that's why I will talk a little bit. You have to know where you're going. So in terms of expectation, if you go, um, you meet a young lady or a young man, and you guys say, okay, we're gonna go for coffee. That basically just getting to know that person. But as you go for that third and that fourth, and you start hanging out more, the expectation as to, okay, you know what, I really want to get to know you because I think I'm liking you. I sense there might be a future here. And then you begin to set the boundaries of what that relationship and speak out exactly what the expectation. So going for coffee with somebody you just meet, there's no expectation. The person can decide to show or not show,
Yeah.
right? They can decide, okay, um, you know, um, this is much I'm going to tell you about myself. But as you get more and more into the relationship, the expectation of who that person are. But then there's the other part of the expectation of number one, the person need to be true to you and to themselves. But then expectation, in our society is so different today.
Yeah.
You know, um, I'm probably from a different school than you come from in terms of, you know, but your generation probably expect few women or men expect others to contribute more in terms of their lifestyle. You know,
Yeah.
that's necessary.
You have to buy them wigs.
Yeah,
You have to buy them
yeah.
clothes, take them on shopping.
Yeah. That's a whole different thing, and brother. And
Wow.
I, that's not in dating. I don't see that to be done in dating. Now in courtship, I can see more of that being done because guess what? We have announced, our engagement. We have announced that we are now courting to be married. So if you're courting somebody to be married, sure, there's certain expectation of you, but not somebody you just getting to know. The expectation,
Wow.
keep it at a minimum, brother.
Wow. So, guys, as I said, this is deep. This is really deep. And Daddy, I heard something on, I think on YouTube. I was watching something and I heard someone saying that you can date a lot of women or men because dating is different from
Courtship,
courtship. Yeah.
absolutely.
So, and that's gave me some insight and something that I want to ask about. I want to know the differences because I want to know the differences between casual dating and serious dating.
Yeah. Um, in the body of Christ, we do espouse to casual dating, right? So if you come and say, would you want a young man in the congregation or a young woman to be dating a lot of different people? I'll say no, because number one, if you know who you are, even before you ask a person for a date, you'll have a good idea of, so just watching them from afar,
Wow.
just watching on the sideline. Is should I ask this person to go out for coffee with me, or go to the movies? Why I need to ask them? Then I'm gonna ask them because I have seen something in that person that gravitates me beyond just the natural, right? Naturally, for men, we are visuals, so you know, we when we see a beautiful woman, we acknowledge we see a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
But then if you're gonna ask this person out, okay, um, I want to get to know you a little better, get to know something about a little better. Now, if you don't know who you are, there's a tendency, you're searching, but you don't know what you're searching for. You just picking one through another. You go from one, nope, that's not it. No, oh, that's not it. But can you imagine if every one of those you go, they made promises to them?
Wow.
That's danger right there, because your word is no longer authentic. You're not a man of your word, right? So what need to be done? Your casual dating in the body of Christ. As a pastor, I would never espouse to that. Yeah, even and in some circles they will tell you dating, no, 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 but I come from a school where say, yeah, you're gonna date somebody, get to know that person, and you may date somebody for a couple of times, realize, okay, but as I dig deeper, I realize there are some character issues here. Then you realize your intention, you know what, no, I don't think this is gonna work, and you're clear on that. You're clear. It's
You're
not where
clear.
you're clear.
Yeah.
It's not, okay, you know what, wait on the sideline here. Let me go on to somebody else, and talk to that person. Wait on the side, and I come back to this person. If you're clear that this is not going to work, be clear.
So that means when you move like that, it's gonna bring confusion.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Guys, this will be the we're gonna move to courtship, okay? But we're gonna end here for the first episode on dating and courtship. So the next episode is going to be courtship. Stay tuned. Okay, guys. And as I keep saying, subscribe and hit on the notification bell so that whatever we post, you don't have to go to the channel, but the moment we post it, you will be notified so that you can learn from this great man of God. As I keep telling you, by the end of this episode, trust me, you will make the right choice. See you in the next episode.